Hello, beloved. We're finishing up our womb journey on everything women, and our final entry or our final focus is going to be on our spiritual health and our spiritual nurturing and what we're doing in order to make sure that component of our total being is taken care of. The first 3 weeks really covered our emotional and our mental health, and then that went into our physical health, which was more physical activity and also detoxing and the importance of that. But our final component, if it's not intact, no matter what you do and how much you pour into yourself, something's going to be off. And oftentimes we don't put enough intention and enough focus on our spiritual growth and our spiritual maturity. So, why is spiritual health important? A lot of us are balancing different components to our life, whether it's our family, whether it's career, or whatever else that we have our hands into, where a lot of time is not taken for us. So oftentimes I always talk about the importance of self-care and the importance of our well-being and us being in a place where we're physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually full that we can continue to pour out. So when we do these womb journeys, I like to focus more so on what are we doing in order to be poured back into. And that's where our spiritual health is important. You may find yourself kind of going through the motion of everyday life and the routine of things where we get comfortable being on the go, so much so that when our health starts to fail or when we're emotionally unable to be there, we oftentimes take a step back and say, well, how did I get here? Not realizing that yes, we may have physically been doing what we need to do and emotionally taking care of that and also mentally being in a good space, but spiritually there's a missing component. Today's blog covers that. We speak about how important it is to be spiritually watered and making sure that part of our life grabs our attention so that we're not all over the place and depleted, not able to help anyone, especially ourselves. No matter how balanced you feel you are, if you're not allowing yourself to be poured back into somewhere in life, it's going to take a toll. So this week's exercise is to create space to where you're crying out to God, where you're asking a lot of hard questions and you're sitting still enough to be able to hear from him. If you don't take that time to really sit still and be quiet, you'll find yourself trying to come up with different solutions and scenarios to fix maybe some problem that you're facing instead of allowing he who created you to lead you and guide you in all truth and all righteousness. It's hard not to lean on your own understanding because we may think we know the way, but at the end, if we're not inviting God in, we end up failing. So as I said last week, I hope these last few weeks have been beneficial to you. You were able to reflect on some things last year or even last month just to gauge where you are now in order to put yourself in position to be spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally healthy. So thank you for journeying with me, and I will see you back here next month.